Hi teacher friends! Today I'm going to share with you a procedure that I use to ensure that my entire classroom doesn't get covered in paint or in glitter. If you're interested in other very specific procedures, please comment down below and tell me what you're interested in, and I'll share those procedures and how to teach those procedures. It's so important that we teach procedures on those first weeks of school so that kids know how our classroom runs and so our classroom can run smoothly for the rest of the year. I talked about painting picture frames during the first week of school. Now let me share how I manage this. In my classroom, I've always had a kidney-shaped table. I cover that with butcher paper, and I have paper plates, very cheap paper plates. Now if you don't use paper or paper plates, you can get those little plastic plates that you can put paint on, and that works too. But I have my paper plates and paint in a variety of colors. You can see this paint's kind of sparkly. You can buy the sparkly paint, which is fun. I just buy the cheap acrylic paint at Hobby Lobby, and I have the paint, I have the little plates, and probably 6 students can fit around that table at a time. I call students one at a time back to that table, and so that they can quietly work on their frame while the rest of the class is doing something else, like a getting to know you or some kind of activity that you would do during the first week of school. By having students just back there one at a time, it makes it so much easier. I also use one paintbrush for each color, so I don't have any water. I just have, here's the paintbrush for yellow. If you're using yellow, use the yellow paintbrush. Lots of paintbrushes so the kids don't need to use any water. I have also a mason jar that I put all the paintbrushes in when they're done, and then I just rinse them all out at the back of the room. One tip for painting the frames, I might have the kids just do maybe the whole frame on the first day and then add the decorations on the second and third and fourth day, because otherwise it can bleed all together. So that's one little procedure for painting. I, again, learned by trial and error. Long ago, when I was student teaching, I got to take the class for a whole day while my teacher went to a workshop. And I love the ocean. So I was like, we're gonna do rainbow fish. This book was fairly new, and I thought, we're gonna make these rainbow fish. So in the morning, the kids watercolored this piece of paper, and then they turned it over and drew a fish, and they cut it out. And then I gave them all their own glitter. And I gave them all their own glue. Second graders. Now, some of you are going, what on earth were you thinking? I didn't know any better, and I hadn't asked, so I just didn't know. Well, literally, it was glitter bomb. It was glitter, H-E-L-L, in that classroom. There was glitter everywhere. I remember it was a Friday, and I stayed at the school so late just trying to clean up the glitter. Glitter doesn't vacuum up, and it was a mess. When I came to school on Monday, my cooperating teacher was there, and she looked at me with such a firm voice, and she said, "What on earth happened to my classroom?" And I just remember going, I don't know. I tried to clean it up. And she then taught me that when you glitter in a classroom, you don't let everybody have their own glitter. Again, you use your kidney-shaped table, cover it with butcher paper, call the kids back. I always use the lid of a banker's box, just the lid of a box. The kid says, I want this part glittered. So I put the glue on, I put the glitter on, I shake the glitter into the box. Oh my gosh, that could have saved me a lot of heartache. Of course, I wouldn't be able to share the story if I wouldn't have made that mistake. So make sure you have very clear procedures for everything you're doing. Those are just 2 examples of paint and glitter. Before I leave today, I want to share another book with you that's a great one to start right at the beginning of the school year. This comes from the Wonder book, and it's called 365 Days of Wonder, Mr. Brown's Precepts. So you remember Mr. Brown, the English teacher, he would share a precept with the kids. And this gives you one for every single day. So today is July 20th. And it says, if you want to learn about the world, go out in it. Cheers to being a teacher. Go out and change the world.